Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the You're Not Done Yet podcast, where your purpose is just moments away, and I'm here to help you get there. All right, y'all, it's another week, which means it's another episode of the You're Not Done Yet podcast, and today we're speaking to the lovely Dreunna Holland. So let's get right into this episode. So tell the people, who is Dreunna Holland?
Hey. So my name is Dreunna Holland. I am a Quincy country girl native. Grew up in
Yes.
Gaston County, Florida.
Yes.
I was a part of the first East Gaston graduating class of East Gaston High School. I have three wonderful children, Kenaya, Keon, and CJ. And then we have our nephew, Jakari, that we raised. And then I have a husband. His name is
Yes.
Shedrick, and I've been married to him for 15 years, and we've been together for 20. So, that's the personal portion of me. But the
Yeah.
business side of me is
Yes.
I own IMatter. I'm the founder of IMatter, which is a nonprofit organization that is geared towards mental health awareness in the minority communities. And of
Awesome.
course, I own Dynamic Xplosion Cheer with my sister and mother, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to creating the whole athlete, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. So, I mean, that's
Awesome.
basically who I am.
Yes, but no, that's good because normally when I ask that question, a lot of my guests say like, "Dog, like you really make me, think about that one. That's deep. It's more than just saying my name. It's more to it than that." So, no, you answered that question perfectly. So, thank you for that. So,
Yes.
let's just hop right into it. So, what inspired you to create iMatter?
So in 2019 of March, I had sent my best friend a text and said, you know what, I'm kind of struggling. I don't know if I want to live. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I don't think I have a purpose on here on earth.
Yeah,
People are not gonna miss me. I don't feel like anybody, are really dedicated to me or prioritize me in their life. And so she drove all the way from Atlanta in the middle of the night. I think she got to me about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we,
oh wow.
we got right back on the road. She came and just snatched me out of the house. And we got
Yeah,
right back on the road and got back to her house about 6. And so for the first day, she didn't bother me. But while I was sleeping, God revealed something in my dream. And He was basically like, you matter. You have a big purpose in this earth. You're going to change lives. You're going to inspire people to be the better version of themselves. So,
yeah,
guess what? I'm going to help you get there, and you're going to help other people get there. And he woke me up out of my sleep, and he said, you should create an event called I Matter. And I was like,
yeah,
wow, that doesn't make any sense. Like, everybody know they
yeah.
matter. And it was like,
Right,
no, everybody doesn't know they matter because you didn't think you matter. So
right.
if you continue to tell people that they matter, that they're important, that their feelings are valid, then they can live a better life. So that was in March. April, I started planning my first event ever. I had it in November, sold out, and I created the foundation because I realized that there's a lot of people that need to understand mental health and mental wellness. And when I say a
Right,
lot of people, I'm talking more of the minority communities because
right.
in the Caucasian communities, they are taught to go to therapy. Like, I have a lot of friends that are Caucasian and they go to therapy and we be talking about our therapy together. But in
Hmm.
the black community or in the minority community, Hispanic, all the other kind of stuff, like when we was growing up, I don't know about you, but it was like pray about it. If you went
Yeah,
what yeah, you
100%.
want to go to a therapist, they was like, you
100%.
crazy. If you took some medicine to help with anxiety or depression, you crazy. So
Yeah,
it was very traumatic growing up in the black community and being taught that only Jesus was the answer. And I'm not saying he isn't, but he's strategically given us people to help us also through life. So my motto now is Jesus in therapy will help you get through life. So that's
yeah,
kind of why I created it. Yeah.
yeah. No, and I was gonna say too, I had my first introduction to therapy when I was in college, and it was that notion in my mind, like, oh Lord, I'm finna go into therapy, and the next thing you know, they're gonna be like, you don't went and told that man or that woman all our
All
business.
your
Now
business.
they
Yeah.
now let's different, but at the same time, though, like it's not about you, it's about me. And
Yeah.
you're saying, like you said, pray about it. Okay, but I prayed about it, and God is talking to me, but I didn't talk to somebody like now. I need to go in
Yeah.
somebody's office right now to say how I'm feeling and how do I navigate. But as growing up and now, I feel like our community is starting to take mental health serious because
Yes.
they're seeing how it's starting to unravel. And it's unraveling in kids as young as like elementary school. Like it's
Yes.
starting to become a big deal. And so having resources that kind of help you figure out what's going on inside of you mentally is a big deal, and it's a great thing, and that's why organizations like yours matter. So we really do appreciate that as a community.
Thank
So
you.
I wanted to hop into the other part of your business, so dynamic explosion cheer. So as you said, you guys help mold the whole athlete, so whether when it's spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally. So what do you think are some things that, for one, prevent people from going to check their mental status or prevent them from actually seeking help to go and talk to somebody? What do you think are some things that stop them from doing that?
So judgment, thinking of people opinions. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like thinking about what people will say about you because you want to seek help. Another thing is money. Some people
mm,
don't have the insurance or the money to pay for mental health resources. Other
right.
things can be their parents. Their parents don't believe in therapy, so they're not going to go to therapy. Their
Yeah.
parents, sometimes, I'm not saying my athletes, but sometimes athlete parents are so hard on them. And they're like, no, 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 you don't need that. You just need to get it together. And not know, understanding that the child could be going through something mentally because of being bullied at school. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Yeah.
those are the things that stop kids from checking on their mental status, stop parents from checking on their mental status. It's just people opinions. It's just, fear that you'll be labeled as something that you don't want to be labeled as. Excuse
Yeah.
me. But in the end of the day, what really matters is your mental wellness, how you can, make sure you are good mentally no matter what is going on in your life, even at the
Yeah.
age of 10, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's what I believe stops people from, engaging and checking on their mental status.
Yeah, and then follow up with that, how important is it for you to know your mental status? Like, how important is it for you to say, okay, mentally, I'm not right. Mentally, I'm feeling like something is going on and I cannot explain it. How important is that for you to know your mental status?
Yeah. It is very important because my therapist said to me before, like, she was like, you are a high functional person who holds in your emotions. So
Mm,
basically, if I'm feeling depressed, I can still function through life
yeah.
because I learned how to cope with it because of behaviors I learned in the past. And which I tell people
Mm-hmm.
all the time, you have to unlearn those behaviors and you have to, kill generational curses and generational traumas because that is not healthy for the human being. So for
No.
me, I check my status every week, shoot, every day. Like
Yeah.
I have friends that will just send a text, "Hey, how are you physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally? You good?"
Yeah.
I see a therapist every week. You know what I'm saying? Because where I was last year, January and July, no, January and June, I tried to commit suicide twice. And you would think a person like me, like if you see social media, you see me. I mean, of course, people see me sometimes in a hospital sick because I don't hide that stuff. But you also see
Yeah.
me living my life. And you would think, well, why would she want to do that? It's because I give
Right.
so much to people. I'm always there. I'm so strong for all of my friends, for all of my family, for people who I don't even know. And then when
Yeah.
I'm going through something, it's like, who's there to check on me? Even
Okay.
if I reach out and I'm like, hey, some ain't right, but what's great about all of my friends now is that one, I set boundaries, that is very important.
100%.
Two, yes, two, my friends, when I say y'all, I'm not right. I need a moment. I need y'all. And they be like, they put everything down, bet what we're doing. And that's
Right.
because I made everyone around me understand that when you have good mental wellness, when your mental health is good, you flow better in your
Yeah.
destiny.
Yeah.
So, check every day. Wake up in the morning and set a routine. I tell people all the time, set a routine when you wake up in the morning. I didn't used to do that, and that made me stressed. But in the
Okay.
morning, just take time out to sit with nature, to walk 5 minutes, to do something for you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Them kids gonna be there, that man, that woman, that friend, that job, that money. It's all gonna be
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
that's what.
100%. So I would say, what are some things that you feel like you have faced with your athletes in their mental health? Like, what are some things that really made you feel like, well, I'm glad I'm doing this now, and I'm glad that it's me. So later on in life, they don't feel like they have to run to another person when they can just come and we can deal with it right here, right now, because I understand, because, my sisters and brothers, they grew up as athletes, and you look at your team as your family. So it's like,
Hmm.
what things have you encountered with your athletes, to where you knew that, okay, I really got to start building this sense of community. I really have to put them in the room to say, we're here for you guys, and this is how we're going to get through it, pretty much.
Yeah. So what happened is I've had some kids experience suicidal thoughts. I had
Hmm.
some kids experience bullying. I had
Yeah.
some kids experience harassment. Like loss of family members, loss. Some parents could have divorced. Like it's so many different things, so many different experiences that last season, season 6 for us, that I saw, and I said, season 7, mental health is going to be more present. Season
Yeah.
6, we introduced it. It's called
Yeah.
DXC Matters, but season 7 is actually implemented. So what we do is once a month, I have two social worker graduates. They're
Okay.
going to get their masters now, coaches, my some of the assistant coaches. And they, along with those two and myself, we interview the kids once a month, all of them. I think we have over 160 athletes. So we
Okay.
interview each one of them every month and we check on them, not just school, but at home. And we make sure they're
Right.
okay, we make sure they don't have any issues with anybody. And if they
Yeah.
do, we handle it for them and with them. So it's a lot of different scenarios that happen in young kids' lives, when
Right.
parents break up, when friends are mean, when, somebody die, or, when they can't get anything, when they get hurt. So it's a lot of
Yeah.
mental stuff going on with those kids. So we implemented the mental wellness check-ins once a month. I also implemented a calendar for the parents to sign their children up to have mental wellness one-on-ones if they feel like they need their child to talk to somebody. We
Sure.
also implemented making sure that the parents have people to talk to so they can also book mental wellness one-on-ones with us. And then we do affirmations with the kids. So
Oh,
after every
yeah.
practice, we do
A good
affirmations. Huh?
Yeah. I say, yes, we need a good affirmation now. We need us a good
We
affirmation.
do, right? So they have different affirmations every week, and all 7 teams say it at the end of practice. We implement it, making sure we pray, every practice. Don't skip that, because for us, our foundation is God, family, love.
Yeah.
You can't separate it. You can't take one from another. That's who we are, and no one can take that from us. So yeah.
Awesome. Yes. And I was going to say too, I just know that, like you said, like especially a routine. And then I have made it my mission as well to at least talk to someone that I know that doesn't mind listening and just say, hey, this is how I'm feeling right now. Not saying it's going to last forever. Okay. But in this moment, this is just how I'm feeling. Okay.
Right.
And like I'm writing down in my journal. Like you said, I'm saying my affirmations. I'm listening to my word, and most of the time, it's really that they just want somebody to listen. They just want somebody to hear what they're saying, and they just want to feel validated. And letting them know, like, your feelings do matter. You do have the right to feel how you feel in this moment. So, no, that's great. And I can only imagine how sports would be if a lot of teams took it as serious as you guys do. And whether it's just taking a break from practice and just say, hey, y'all, let's go, like you said, let's go run outside. Let's go sit in the grass and let's talk. Like, let's go do something. Like, let's get your mind off of whatever you got going on right now, but
Right.
creating a safe space for them to be able to be open. And I feel like that is so amazing. My
Yes.
next question is, I ask all my guests this. So, you guys know that this is a purpose-based podcast, so you know I gotta ask the question. So, do you feel like you are pursuing your purpose? If so, how? And if not, why?
Yes, I am. And I'll say this, a lot of times people think when they get into their purpose or their passion or their destiny, however they want to phrase it,
Yeah.
that it's going to be peaches and cream. It is not.
By any
Um,
means.
what? Not at all. And so my purpose in life, I feel like, well, I know, is to inspire and motivate people to not only be the best version of themselves, but the whole version of themselves. So I call
Yeah.
it building the whole person through the lens of self. So
Mm.
that's what I kind of offer to the community, to the world, to corporate America, to organizations. I offer these mental wealth and team building workforce and school force based programs to help
Yeah.
not only corporate or businesses build up their teams, but to also build up their teams' minds, you know,
Yeah.
and then not only for to build up these kids in school, but to help them understand how to navigate, through emotional situations and how to use coping skills to get to the next level. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it took me a moment to find it because I got aggravated always sending out encouragement texts to these people and, inspiring people and motivating people to,
Yeah.
fulfill their purpose and destiny in life. And then I'm over here like feeling sour because ain't nobody like sometimes they don't respond in text or
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
sometimes they don't respond in email or they just look at you crazy. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I've understood lately that
Hmm.
everybody is not for you. I understood that everybody is not going to always understand you or your purpose or your
Correct.
vision. And
Correct.
so I built a team. I have a team of people that works with me for certain events and certain things. And I do believe that we're on here doing this podcast, but we're going to look back and say,
Yeah.
hey, you remember I did that podcast with you because I'm going to be on stages speaking to people,
Right.
letting them know that they matter. So, yeah, I found my purpose. I love it. I love people.
Yes, and no, and that's amazing. And like you said, preach that all the time. Your purpose is never going to be easy, right? But it's going to be one of the most fulfilling things that you're ever going to do in your life. Because once you get to that point where God's like, okay, now you can sit down now for a little bit until I call you back again. But you get to look back over your life and say, well, dog, I didn't give up. And look where it got me. I didn't give up, and look who I've touched. Look who's been looking up to me like, dog, girl, like you did it. I know I can do it too. And I feel like that's the beauty of it. Cause like you said, it may look all good on social media or it may look good now, but I do have my times when I'm down. I do have my moments where I'm just like, bump it. Like I'm being selfish this week. I'm being selfish today. I don't feel like talking to nobody and inspiring nobody. And I get in that mode too because I'm just like, well, Lord, I don't feel like it. I don't. I don't. I don't feel like doing anything. Like, why can't I just sit here and just watch my shows for the whole day? And God be like, yeah, but did I call you to do that though? Did I tell you to do that today? Do you feel like that's what you need to be doing today? And then you get that itch. Like, okay, God, let's go. Let me go ahead and surrender and just say, yeah. All right. I hear you.
Or
God,
you just, sometimes even when you get in that space, because I've learned this, because I used to be in that space a lot. You
yeah.
got to take a minute for yourself and sit down and wonder, why do you feel this way? You know what I'm saying? What has happened that made you feel like you don't want to make somebody else's day better? Because
Yeah.
something has happened in your atmosphere, in your environment, that has
Yeah.
caused you to shift your spirit. And now you're feeling a little bit of friction and tension and
Yeah.
frustration. And so therefore you're like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't feel like doing it. And it's like, you
Yeah.
got to sit down and be like, girl, what's wrong with you? Check
Right.
yourself, you know?
What's going on? What's going on? Go get your journal, go write it out, go talk it out, go do what you need to do.
Go
But get
podcast
yourself,
it out.
yeah, podcast it out. Listen, podcast it out. Because this right here has just proven to be a great sense of therapy for me. So I know that it's healthy avenues and ways for you to express yourself. And then I always learned too that, somebody is feeling exactly the same way that you're feeling.
Yeah.
Somebody is really going through the same thing that you're going through, but they're waiting for you to tell your story so they can tell theirs, or they can be obedient to what it is that they've been called to do. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting there. I'm getting better at it.
I can say this. I love the fact that you are driven. I love the fact that you are a go-getter. I love that you created this podcast. I listen to you. I don't say a whole lot because I be going in and out of different things and be forgetting the comment. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm so proud of her because I remember you when you was a baby. And now you're a grown, successful, beautiful woman and a great mother. So I think you're doing an excellent job, and you got to keep going because this is just the beginning, and baby, you ain't done yet. Okay.
No, not at all. Just getting started. Just getting
Okay.
started, okay? And I received that. I received that. So as we close
Yes.
out the episode, if you could leave our listeners, our viewers with anything, what would you leave them with?
I will leave them with this: if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will.
Mm.
The sky is not the limit. You are. I tell people that
Mm.
all the time. People are like, oh, the sky is the limit. No, you're the limit. You're your
Amen.
limit. So whatever you don't want to do is because you don't want to do it. But if you want to do something, you can do whatever you put your mind to. And it sounds cliche, but it's true. And
Yeah.
watch your mouth because
Yeah.
I remember reading the book God's Creative Word. Katrina Nicole put us on that, and it says in there, Jesus told the people, "I told them they could have what they say, but they saying what they have."
What they have.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So when people be like,
Yeah.
"They broke," they gonna stay broke because they saying they broke.
You
And
broke.
it
Yeah.
sounds like, duh, we should know better. But manifestation is real.
Yeah.
And I tell people, I learned this from Bishop Washington, that you need to sit down and you need to look at where, if God gave you a vision, sit down and see what the end result going to be. And once you
Mm-hmm.
do that, don't worry about the how, just do.
Just keep going. Yeah. Just
Just
do it.
do. And if you're
Yeah.
scared, but you shouldn't be scared, but everybody is scared because I was fearful of things. But do it
Yeah.
scared. Just do it
Yeah.
scared.
Do it scared. Do it afraid. Do it anyway. And then, like they said, like just start. Like it's not going to be perfect by any means necessary. It's not perfect because listen, I feel like by this time I'm supposed to be on a podcast network somewhere. I'm supposed to be in this fancy studio, and it's like, no, baby, I'm doing what I gotta do until God calls me to that place, until God puts me in that room to where I know that this is heading. But you have to be okay with the now, but knowing that better is on the way. You can't hop into something and then you want the end result as soon as you start because it's not gonna happen that way. Like it takes time. It takes
It
time.
takes,
Allow him to mold
yeah,
you. Allow him to grow you in those places where you need a little bit of work in. Okay? And it's totally
yeah.
fine.
We need a lot
Grow.
of work sometimes, like, because
Yeah.
this is the thing. You have to understand when we were growing up, we learned certain behaviors. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I know that I wasn't taught really was like a deep, deep, deep dive of the Bible and how these people, if you pay attention to these stories, how they, were successful or how they failed. And I just believe that people need to just sit with themselves and learn who they truly are and learn
Yeah.
what they like and what they don't like. Set those boundaries. Don't be scared to set boundaries with family,
Yeah.
friends, spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever,
Everything.
kids, everybody. Set those boundaries. With the
Yeah.
dog, the cat, everybody. Set those boundaries.
Everything.
So yeah, I just want people to know that, even when you feel like you've done all you can, keep going. Don't give
Yeah.
up. Keep trying.
Don't.
Because one day, and it happened to me the other day, one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna thank God that you are not where you used to be at.
Used to be.
You're gonna
Hello.
yeah, you're gonna appreciate the fact that He allowed you to make it through that storm in order to see the rainbow. You know what I'm
Hello.
saying? So
Hello.
I'm just excited because all the hell I've been through, baby, the future is looking marvelous for me.
Very
Because
bright. Very
now
bright.
nobody can tell me nothing. You hear me? The devil better recognize who I am because I done
Oh,
been, let me tell you something. In May, I had 14 seizures in one day. I
oh my
literally
God.
almost died. And when I
Yeah.
came out of that in May, I said, no more. One thing I'm going to do is know my worth, set my boundaries, and tell people they better not play with me because God don't play by me. So
Period.
that's it. Like, I'm just in a mood of I can do anything I want to do. I can have whatever I want, and
Yeah.
I will be everything that God want me to be and said I was going to be when He created me in my mama's womb before I even knew me.
Well, I
So
knew. Hello.
that's what's gonna happen. So yeah, that's what I
Yes,
gotta say.
love it. No, but thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful, beautiful episode. So, if the people want to get in contact with you, maybe want to get some trainings in, or even want to hear you speak, or have them come speak to their group or their organizations, where can they find you, or how can they get in contact with you?
Yes, on Facebook, I'm Dreunna Holland. Instagram, I'm Dreunna Holland. Dreunna. Because they're not spell my name.
I'm gonna make sure I put it in the description bar, so I got you.
Hey. And then, I have IMatter and they can find me at dynamicexplosion.com or Dreunna.holland at mail.com. They can email me. So I'm pretty much all across the board, all across everywhere. You can't miss me. I'm trying not to let nobody miss me because I love everybody. I'm like, hey, let me help y'all. So yeah,
No,
that's
I'm
where.
here. Yes, yes. Putting yourself out there. I love it. Well, guys, this has been an amazing episode of the You're Not Done Yet podcast. And Dreunna, thank you so much for coming and chatting with me today about how your mental is instrumental and how it fuels you and walking in your purpose. So I really, really, really do appreciate it. So make sure you guys are following us on Instagram at You're Not Done Yet Pod and your host me at It's Andrea B. And we will see you guys next week. See you next time.
Hi.